Hey everybody, it's Tuesday and it's 10 p.m., which means it's time for a brand new normal world. And here is your news. Today, the FDA ruled that the active ingredient in cold medicine, such as Benadryl and Sudafed PE, is actually useless against viruses. The drugs are expected to be made into a mandatory booster.
The bad news is that Sudafed PE is useless. The good news is, though, I know why my side hustle of cooking meth failed.
You never want to do that with the PE.
No, but it's a silver lining. Now I know.
Yeah, it's good to learn.
It is.
Google executives warn that robots may soon replace humans for sex. Some people say sex with robots will never catch on. Personally, I think if you build it, they will come.
Yes, they will.
Thank you. Thank you all very much.
Danny Masterson was sentenced to 30 years in prison for brutally drugging and raping multiple women. Masterson played Hyde in that 70s show. If you guys you watch the movie, the show, what it is,
Hyde,
which is ironic because that's what he will be getting ripped open.
Yes.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, he's
a big fan.
Die Hard. Who didn't love him 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to Normal World. I'm Dave Landau.
I'm Quarterback Garrett.
With us is Angela.
Hi.
And joining us, you may remember her. She's a touring singer that was shot in the 90s, Selena.
Hello, everyone. It's good to be resurrected for this show.
I don't know Spanish.
An icon.
Sara Gomez.
Bitty bitty bum bum.
I don't even know what that is.
Sara Gonzales.
Very confused. Martinez.
What is your name? Sara Gonzales is here. Yes. One of our favorite guests. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm always happy to be here.
You're welcome back anytime.
You may know her as the host, of course, of News and Why It Matters, right here on BlazeTV. That got very...
Did we have I thought we had a stinger for that. It just felt like you were going to go right into a stinger.
Well,
then they went to me and I didn't know what
I feel like there was something going to
It's me. Actually, I like that they went to me because my show is taped right.
Oh, it's like in the darkness back there.
Yeah. That's my chair right there behind us.
Oh.
We're neighbors.
Look at that. There's actually the All in the Family set here, too.
Yeah, I heard.
I know. We found it.
Did you?
I'm going to be honest. I accidentally touched it. I just thought it was part of the set because, there's flats back there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool.
There was a sexual episode of that.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
No.
Which one?
Where, what was her name? Was it Edith Bunker got sexually assaulted in the kitchen?
No.
Yeah.
They didn't play that one on replay.
He tried to rape me.
Very special episode.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh.
Gives a different meaning to all in the family.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Because it was... Oh, Archie. He tried to put his beautiful dong in me. All right, so it was a
I kind of liked it, Archie.
It was when they first started doing the special episodes. Until life
early on,
became a special episode. Anyway,
I'm going to be honest with you. I am not an All in the Family expert.
No?
No, I
Why?
had no idea they did special episodes.
What's wrong? You're not.
Oh, it's 50? A sitcom. Come on.
I'm not. No. Sorry.
What sitcom did you watch?
Friends.
They did a couple special episodes.
You just gave me the most rude look. What?
Oh, Friends sucks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It was an
Seinfeld?
overrated show. Seinfeld with 6 people. I think that was a spade. Anyway.
I watched all the oldies, the good.
Family Matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that. Step by step.
Growing
Step by step,
pains.
Am I redeeming
Growing
myself?
Pains,
Okay, good.
They all had special episodes.
Yeah.
Growing
That was the thing.
Pains,
Every once in a while they have the special episode, and then at the end of the episode they have all the cast members.
Okay,
sit
yeah,
down and
I
be
do
like,
remember that.
It's a very serious thing that we have out there where
Yeah.
people that are raping, they're coming into your house and they're raping your mothers. It's just happening.
The best special episode was Saved by the Bell when Jessie gets hooked on
Yes.
pills. She's like,
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Yes.
Yes. They also had
She's a more fun person to hang out with.
Yeah, where the guy's name was like Johnny Dakota, and he came to the school to film a movie. And they find out that he's smoking pot, and AC's like, is this a roach? And it's like, so you know exactly what that is?
Hey, my name is Johnny Dakota.
Yeah, it was the cheesiest name, but yeah.
Wearing a jean jacket and some sunglasses.
Yes. What's funny is if you actually look at the trajectory of that, if Showgirls was her real life,
That was the intro.
caffeine
wasn't it?
pill addiction really did.
I get it.
The
Terrible.
dancing in that movie did look like it was caffeine pill induced.
Oh yeah, I want to go to Stanford to get straight A's, and I just want to dance.
What a strange movie.
Oh, anyway, before we get started, I want you to know that you can catch me this weekend. Speaking of dancing, at Visani's in Port Charlotte, Florida. So come out there. I'll be there Friday and Saturday, joined by show regular Matt McClowry. Just want you to know. Now it's time for Today in Cancellations.
Extra, extra.
Read all about it.
One, please.
That's right.
Perfect.
Well, that's not our voices. Those are special people.
Very special. Do you know DraftKings?
I do. I've
A vicious gambler.
lost tons of money.
Yeah, a lot of people. So,
Took my home.
they do, dude, constantly. I'm always betting on black. So
Wesley Snipes says to do. And he
I
landed in
always
prison
listen.
for 7 years.
Wesley Snipes is based. Don't joke about that.
I love that movie.
Which one?
Passenger 57.
Just every single one?
Always bet on black.
Oh yeah.
You don't know Passenger 57?
No, I thought that was just like a quote he said in life.
I'm sure he does.
I thought you just said it because he was black.
That's why I said it.
That was why he says it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because he's on a
As long as
plane.
we're on the same page here.
There's really no betting. It's just the fact that he's like the only black passenger and he saves the day. All the white passengers are like, there's terrorists and I'm scared. And he's black and he's like, I'll kill them all.
That's the only Wesley Snipes movie I haven't seen.
Really?
Yeah.
You and I are watching it.
Well, let's do it. I'm ready
We're
to do it.
high-fiving through it.
I will. I love Wesley Snipes. Anyways, so DraftKings, they apologized because it was 9/11 and they felt like they needed to make a statement and try to feel for everybody. So they made a promo code. Never forget. Tasteful. Very tasteful. So 3 New York City teams had to win, and you won. What did they win?
They had to win their games. So it was like a parlay. They read never.
What
forget.
does this mean?
Well, one,
Parlay.
I believe it was the Jets lost by 40. So it was almost as bad as 9/11.
It was bad. Jeez.
Do you think they'd have to apologize if it went well? If they were like, hey, it worked out. Like, everybody's happy.
Everybody won, right? You're never going to forget that win.
I mean,
No.
come on, it's not that bad.
How crazy would it be
20 years.
if it made 9/11 good for New Yorkers? They're like, remember it was bad?
That time, though, DraftKings.
We turned it around.
And then we had that three win deal. Now we're all rich again.
I heard DraftKings.
They rebuild the Trade Center with the money they win and call it DraftKings Center.
Never forget.
Never forget.
They took it down after like a few hours, though. I'm sure they.
I think
That was a quick pull.
How do you think this stuff gets through?
Oh, because it's a bunch of Gen Zers running social media who have absolutely no perspective on 9/11 and how serious it was because they weren't born.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can imagine.
Exactly what I
Yeah.
said.
Really?
Yeah, no, I was saying to my friend the other day. You said it better. I was just like, it's a bunch of young idiots who weren't around when it happened, but you made
Yeah.
it sound more intelligent. Either that, or it's just somebody in some other country who's like, yeah, it's gonna be hilarious. They're not even paying attention.
It's some AI bot. They're like, oh, this must make sense. Everybody says that a lot in connection with, I had a question. So we did a live stream yesterday, Adam Krigler on Bay Staff, and the first thing somebody said was happy 9/11.
Oh,
Weird, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
What do you say for something that's sad, that makes you sad, but it's like a holiday-ish kind of thing? Like, you don't say happy.
Definitely not happy. I
It's
think
not
we
a
can-
happy thing, right? It's like,
No.
my condolences. It's
Oh, it's like
9/11.
What do you bring to a cancer reveal party?
Yeah. Presents. Like, I don't know.
Huh.
What
know what to
kind
do with
you
myself.
have? Oh boy, it's pancreas. He's not going to make it to Christmas.
What about in remembrance?
That's not a greeting.
Remembering?
Why do you need to greet each other based on a traumatic?
Happy-
Hey, man, I don't know.
No one. Yeah, happy 9/11's a weird. I just wouldn't bring it up.
Remembering 9/11 today.
Yeah.
Just never talk to that person ever again.
You guys,
That's the way you go.
it's 9/11, everybody. Wah, wah. It's like Debbie Downer. Nobody
I
needs.
guess it would be never forget. I mean, you could kind of do that.
It's such a tragedy. I mean, I remember it. I was 19.
I was 9.
Wow. I woke up 6 hours after it happened, and I thought it was bad pilots. And I'm not trying to be funny.
Yeah.
I was a
literally
hungover teenager and an idiot. And I was like, what? 2 pilots are this stupid? And my mom's like, you're the dumbest person I've ever met.
Dave.
Yeah, because I was going to give it to you that obviously everyone thought it was a bad pilot, the first one.
Yes.
And then
the second one,
you're like, okay.
No. I
go
woke
back to
up.
pilot school.
Everyone except Dave Landau.
I woke up too late for it to be a coincidence. I mean, people in the second building, they had time to get out, but that's on them. Anyway.
Tower 7.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many conspiracy. It's just a sad day, and
Yeah,
I don't know how you address it. It's just a sad thing that happened. Like
There's a lot of weird stuff about it, but like, how do you talk about it without offending people? Like, because it's such a touchy subject. Like, I get why it is, because it's a tragedy. It's horrible. There was a lot of people that were affected by it. But then when you do have questions about events and you go like, "What could I ask questions?" A lot of people don't want you to ask those questions. Mm-hmm. It's a weird way to navigate.
Yeah, I agree. I think though, like if you can just focus on agreeing whatever opinions you might have about who caused it or what caused it, it's still a tragedy that many people died that day for no reason, right? It's senseless deaths that didn't have to occur.
And whoever caused it is awful. We can all come to agreement on that.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's all terrible. When I read an interesting thing that hotel rooms were rented.
That Marriott that's right there?
Yeah, well, to buy somebody at the FBI.
What?
I'm going to go ahead and read it. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
Really?
Do some research on that.
Wow.
Jack, posted it today.
Lily says it might have been their landlord.
Really?
Does that sound familiar?
Who's
There was
landlord?
some connection with the FBI.
I should look up stuff before I talk. Oh, no.
Wait, okay.
Jack Prose, I forget how to say his name. But anyway, the 28 pages show that which is, the whole, the 28 pages show that 2 9/11 hijackers tied to Saudi intelligence rented a room from the FBI informant in California before the 2001 attacks. The director of the FBI kept this covered up for years. His name, Robert Mueller.
Wow.
Right?
What?
That's wild.
It's crazy.
See, there's a lot of weird stuff.
There is, and people believe it because you see how corrupt the government is.
Yeah, especially now. So
Yeah.
back then, I think a lot of people were, I don't want to say naive, but naive.
Yes.
To think like the government's out for our best interest.
Yep.
They want to protect us. And of course, they're being truthful with everything that's going on.
Right.
But we've come down 20 years and we've seen a lot of other things and documents coming out of all these other things that were set up by our government and other countries and our own. And you go, well, I might have a little more questions now. And I think it's more, some people feel like it's disrespectful to the people that died, but I think it's disrespectful to ignore those questions and try not to find the truth.
Yeah.
I think wild conspiracy theory is disrespectful, but trying to actually find the truth and stuff is totally respectful. They need to be honored, and that situation needs to be understood.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. Speaking of finding the truth,
Oh.
over the weekend, more in cancellations, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis issued an apology for writing character letters in support of convicted rapist Danny Masterson.
We are aware of the pain that has been caused by the character letters that we wrote on behalf of Danny Masterson.
We support victims. We have done this historically through our work and will continue to do so in the future.
A couple months ago, Danny's family reached out to us and they asked us to write character letters to represent the person that we knew for 25 years so that the judge could take that into full consideration relative to the sentencing.
The letters were not written to question the legitimacy of the judicial system or the validity of the jury's ruling.
They were intended for the judge to read and not to undermine the testimony of the victims or re-traumatize them in any way. We would never want to do that. And we're sorry if that has taken place.
Our heart goes out to every single person who's ever been a victim of sexual assault, sexual abuse, or rape.
And also, QB and I did write letters on behalf of Danny Masterson.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Oh no.
Yeah, we were asked. You know what?
Maybe just
play the tape.
Okay.
Hey everybody, we've been made aware that we've caused a lot of pain on behalf of the character letters we wrote for Hyde from that 70s show.
We watched it for Fez and the Redhead, and we will continue to do so in the future.
Me now? Oh, okay. A couple months ago, we were asked to write character letters for the guy who we watched on TV 25 years ago. So the judge could, take that into consideration for the sentencing. We also sent him a copy of Dianetics, which I felt would change his life. Okay. Also, Tom Cruise is straight.
The letters were not written to question the legitimacy of the judicial system or the validity of the jurors' ruling. And Dianetics has some really interesting stuff in it. Give it a shot.
The letters were intended for the judge to read and not intended to hurt or undermine anyone in any way, and we're sorry if that has taken place. Battlefield Earth is really underrated.
Our hearts go out to anyone who has ever been a victim, except Leia Romani.
Leia Romani sucks.
Just very bad.
Please let our families go.
While you're laughing, it's very serious.
I just want to say, we've only gotten a couple of the fingers back, but we've done our part.
Yeah.
Okay. Masterson was sentenced to 30 years to life in prison after he was convicted of raping 2 women earlier.
That was earlier this year, right?
Was it earlier? Well, earlier the year was the original.
So this is the
conviction.
third.
This is now the third.
Wow.
They all happened earlier this century. I didn't mean to say it like that.
I don't know why
I feel like it's very delayed. They could have, I wish they would have got on it, but I feel like a Church of Scientology may or may not have got in the way.
It's a precedent.
The women were accused, the women who accused him also, obviously alleged, which we certainly don't agree, that the Church of Scientology had helped kind of strong-arm them and keep them from going to the police, which obviously that couldn't be.
That would be ridiculous.
It's insane. I think they're a very, very legitimate church. And John Travolta would never ask a man for a massage. What's your take?
I don't know much about the Church of Scientology. Isn't there like an alien or something involved?
Lord
Thetans. And you hold on to cans, and they measure them, your thetans. And if you have a lot of them, then you're good or something, I think.
No, you don't want them.
Oh, you don't want? Oh,
no.
Oh man.
Wow,
need to go clear.
If you belonged to the Church of Scientology, you would be screwed right now.
I'm so not getting in there. Have you ever seen one of their storefronts?
No.
In LA, they have, like in a lot of California cities,
They also have the
storefronts
church that looks like Oz.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
It is very gaudy and crazy, but it's a storefront. It just looks like a bookstore, and you kind of look around and you're like, oh, wait, oh, this is Scientology. It's not just a bookstore. Yeah.
I got a picture here.
I mean, I haven't heard anything good about the Church of Scientology. I can put it that way.
That's like a modern one. You have to look for the original because they still have the original in LA, I believe.
They do. Well, at least
Los Angeles.
It's like
this might be the original. They might have redone it.
They're making that money.
It does. I saw it this summer, and it's still there.
It's funny you say that. The science fiction author L. Ron Hubbard, who came up with the Church of Scientology, said, "If you want to get rich, start a religion."
Ain't that the truth?
Direct quote.
Yeah, there's an actual quote, and yeah, it's a very odd thing. The entire church. I know Angela had some information on it.
I do. Well, yeah, I'm really fascinated by cults in general, so I know a lot about them. But yeah, it's Lord Xenu.
Okay, that's what I was thinking of.
So basically, they keep you you have to take all these courses, you have to contribute all this money to move up in the program, and once you move up to the top, then that's when you get that information. But they try to keep their people in the church off the internet, off of stuff like that, because they don't want them to know. They want it to be this mysterious thing. But something that's interesting about it is that the LAPD allows the Church of Scientology to put up kiosks in their office at the LAPD building.
What?
So it's yeah. So it's like there's this, thought that like, okay, well, Scientology is definitely in bed with the LAPD.
Yeah.
And they cover up a lot of stuff, and they gang stalk, and they do all kinds of things.
The guy that's the head of it right now, his wife has been missing.
David Miscavige, Shelley Miscavige.
She's been missing for a long time, and they suspect that she's
dead.
He did it.
Well,
So then, because my question was, why would all of these
allegedly
high-ranking,
Minecraft
Hollywood actors gravitate towards this? So then I guess it could be because they get things covered up for them.
Well, that and because when they're starting out, like for instance, with like when Tom Cruise and like John Travolta, they help your career. But what they do is they get you on camera, getting rid of your thetans, going clear, and they make you essentially to relieve yourself of all of this stuff. They get all your secrets out on camera, and then they blackmail you with that information. So they help you with the career. But then they've got this information on the back end that like they can use to control you.
Wow.
Classic Hubbard.
Yep.
That's what they do, though, yeah, and they kind of exploit that, and that's how you stay in the church. Because essentially, you can Google what celebrities pay $400,000 to find out, which is the Xenu.
What do you think it is?
Yeah.
Secret.
It's got to be convincing, because if you got all the way up there and it wasn't something that
You'd be so let down.
you would
That's
just
what
not.
Leah Remini. That's she got all the way to the top with her mom, and then when she found out this mystical information, she was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Has she ever actually said what that information was?
It's Lord Xenu. It's all the stuff that
That's
they.
it?
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
Oh, no, it's out there.
Like if I got to the top and it was just like an alien boy.
A friend of mine.
Around, he's gonna give you a castle in the sky.
But they're changing the way that your mind thinks in the
By
process.
the time you got there.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's like they
Right.
totally
like social
rewire
engineering you.
Yes.
And you have all these people around you that are kind of building you up into believing this crazy thing. And
They change you by the
allegedly.
end. Yeah.
And they just have kiosks at LAPD. That is so wild.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a very bizarre thing. I mean, he was a science fiction writer, L. Ron Hubbard, Battlefield Earth, and then came up with this. And it's a great scam.
It sure is.
Yeah.
I mean, it works, it
I
works.
believe they wrote, there was a Sherlock Holmes book about similar stuff about like blackmail and how they like use blackmail to just basically rip off all of these really rich people, basically just like this. They get them in, have them say all their secrets, and then just use that on them. It's weird. So you just read Harry Potter. My God. I'm a millennial. Can you tell? You just read Sherlock Holmes and start a religion. I'm going to do that.
That's crazy. Okay, so I haven't paid attention to this case. I've been paying attention to a case, but not this one. So how did these women finally get how did they finally get a case? How did this finally go to court?
I think it's been going for years, right?
But has Danny Masterson's ex-girlfriend, Chrissy Bixler, has made explosive allegations against Ashton Kutcher. That was one. But I mean, over the years, a lot of them had dated him for 6 years. I know that, and had made a claim about him separately.
Okay.
And then another two that all had a similar story that all corroborated, made sense, which involved rape in a jacuzzi, as well as then into the bed, drugging, waking up with him, doing that to them.
Wow.
Now, we all know if it's a 6-year relationship, it doesn't count. But the other two,
It's
Yeah.
I'm joking.
So-
Please don't get offended. I think it's awful. And I think that it just is one of those almost tragically like Cosby things that the Hollywood brushed it aside for so long because they could, and the girls were bullied so much
By the church
that they were terrified of any repercussions. Because one, you have money coming after you, and two, any idea of a career, your families. I mean, my friend was raised in Scientology, and he was kidnapped as a child because him and his mom had tried to escape the church, and they went after him. And this was in like the 80s, allegedly. And so he had this very, strong feeling about certain organizations, but they have been known for being extremely bizarre and corrupt since.
They told the girls not to use the word rape, to like use a different term.
It was victims Jane
Soften the
Doe
blow.
1 and 3.
Yeah.
They were told by a Scientology master at arms not to use the word rape. They both
Master at arms.
also had to use chess pieces and trinkets to explain, like to demo what would happen if they went to the police. They would be expelled. Yeah, they were doing
E8. That'll be you.
And if they went to the police, they'd be fully expelled from the church. They wouldn't be allowed to be part of it when you're already sort of brainwashed.
Right. So they were all members.
Yes.
Don't they use a term for people of the church that leave the church?
Excommunicated?
No, not that. That's like a...
It is like that, though.
But it's like that. They use a different term for it.
Defector or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Something they have like negative connotations towards. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah. So, yeah, they were... It's such an odd thing because I think a lot of people, you see a lot of information on it.
Yeah.
Where they are going, well, this is 20-something years old. How is it valid?
Right.
It's hard to find, yeah.
Yeah, but how was anything tried before DNA? I mean, if enough things make sense, then somebody's guilty.
Right.
And I think that it's very clear that if there's such a group of people...
Beyond reasonable doubt?
Yeah.
He also wasn't like a controversial figure aside from that. So there would be no, I mean, you know, you could look at like all of the allegations that women made against Donald Trump with absolutely no evidence, right? And go like, well, there's 25 people who've accused him of all these things. They must be true. But like, he's a very controversial figure.
Yes.
Where people obviously...
He's going to be a target.
Right, exactly. With Danny Masterson, unless I'm not aware of something, like he seemed to be... I mean, he was on that 70s show and he seemed to be like this affable guy. So why would anyone target him for no reason?
Yeah.
No, it seems it. And then what do you think of the 30 years to life?
I mean, I think that if you're brutally drugging and raping women, I don't know why we need to spend our taxpayer money to keep you alive.
I like that.
Hey, see, there's the difference though is there's no standard because there's people out there that rape children and only get 180 days in prison.
I actually think they should go to the front of the line.
Right. Why are we not doing the same thing across the board? What is going on here?
Well, that's what I find odd is I think Jared Fogle got like 14 years
Not enough.
for his crimes.
Not enough.
I could be wrong, but it was something extremely
He
light.
should have got 2 days.
And
At the end of those 2 days.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Bill Cosby's already out of jail.
Man, I forget that
technicality,
sometimes.
Yeah, he's going on tour.
No.
Yeah, he's actually going to tour.
Yeah. Front row seats.
I don't know if I should get tickets.
Always bet on black.
Just for the fun.
Oh gosh, you probably should for research.
Yeah.
I'm curious to be like,
Yeah.
what
is that show like?
Well, I'm mad because I grew up loving him.
Right.
And now he's a monster.
I mean, imagine being so self-involved and narcissistic that you're like, you went through all of this and everyone knows what you did. And instead of just going away and disappearing, you're like, you know what? I'm going to go on tour.
More of me.
Yeah. I still got it.
No people like that.
Hey, I'm sitting.
Jello jigglers.
I'm going to sit through my show the way that they sat after. All right. So, speaking of
Yes, yeah.
Stuff in your pants.
stuff in my pants, I'm going to talk to you about wow, that's a terrible transition. Yeah. Oh, boy.
Maybe double transition out of that and then come transition back in.
I got to tell you.
Some other way.
I didn't know we were going to get into all that, Jimbo.
Yes, yeah.
Well, actually, we'll
Dark
probably get out of that by saying, and this has been cancellations.
Extra.
Read all about it.
One place.
You know, there's a lot of talk.
Yeah.
About the sound of freedom and the horrors of human trafficking. That's true. But I actually found a company that does donate a great deal of their proceeds to stopping human trafficking.
Really?
Yes. And it's Undertac. And oddly enough, they are underwear, which I enjoy personally. I think it's like cotton, but they're even better. They're like, it's 50% more moisture wicking, antibacterial, and it's softer. It's seriously softer. I think
Softer than cotton?
Softer than cotton, son. There's cotton in it too.
There's cotton in it too? And it's
the
softer?
modal.
There's stuff.
I don't believe
There's a
you.
whole bunch of stuff in it.
I will need to have a pair of myself.
Here's the thing. Let's say you're a guy like me, and girls, you can cover your ears and you're wiggling around town all the time. wondering what it's going to stick to.
Oh,
It's not a problem.
it's rough.
Sure, you're in the hot Texas heat and your testicles are tearing off like a Band-Aid. I'm going to tell you right now, this is not going to be a problem for you. That was my Barrett's esophagus. This is not going to be a problem for you with extra comfortable. It's got a nice extra wide waistband, which is good for me.
I need that.
Yeah, because sometimes I like to hike them up to my belly button and just kind of walk in and do like a stance like this and be like, what's all going on in here?
I put suspenders on them sometimes.
Yes, I do that too. I actually do. I love the feel of them. They're really, really comfortable. They're honestly my favorite pairs of underwear that I have, that I even ordered more after I got free ones myself with the discount. You will not be disappointed, I promise. And you can come to a show and tell me, Dave, you were right. I actually really do like this underwear. You are not full of crap, because it is the most comfortable pair of underwear. And they're good to sleep in because they kind of feel like a pair of shorts. But when you're out, they have the extra layer of protection that you need. Like, and it also has a fly on it where it's not the open, like, hey, that's not for
I don't understand that. We need to get rid of any underwear that has the fly.
They've done it.
Because if you use that, it just, you get a little loose, you know? It's like you had
Undertag solved
8
the
kids.
problem.
It did.
And it's just, and then they solved the problem right
Can
there.
scratch a zipper so it looks like it was pushed into traffic.
Yeah, it's not good.
Well, in this case, it doesn't. What it does is Undertech solved it. She's right. It's almost like it opens like
a
that.
secret pocket.
Like a pocket. Like a pocket where you would keep a pen.
Wow.
15. So go to undertech.com, and that's undertech.com. You can get 20% off site-wide when you use the offer code NORMAL20. Undertech comes with a satisfaction guarantee, and you're helping to make the world a better place too by helping to stop human trafficking and also getting yourself a nice pair of underwear. I mean, that's a good deal right there.
Everybody
You're
can use
doing
them.
2 things right there. You're getting a good product, and you're stopping people like Ashton Kutcher. No, I mean, you're joking, of course, but you are really getting a nice pair of underwear. I think you're going to really enjoy them. And also, again, that's code NORMAL20. You can go ahead and go to visit undertech.com, promo code NORMAL20. Stop human trafficking. That's all.
Thanks for supporting the show.
.com.
Yeah.
They really are.
No.
I want some. That's not fair.
Well, you can.
You can
have
get
them.
some.
Wait,
'Cause,
but
you know, you're a
don't-
lady.
I'm not going to fill it out.
well, I hope they'll make some women's
No,
pairs.
wait, that's
Oh,
actually
yeah.
a great idea. You can get the men's pair, and then you could just use it for extra storage.
Yeah.
What would you store down there?
Whatever you
An
need
extra
to.
big.
What do you got?
What do you have? You can fit it in there.
Markers?
Like, does anyone have any? I'm really thirsty.
Summer
Does anyone have any
sausage?
water?
Butter?
You know what? I got you
Oh,
covered.
I got you. I got an extra pair of socks right here.
Yeah.
There you go.
Let's say you want to go to the club, right?
Yeah.
So who doesn't go clubbing here?
I know.
And you don't want to get hit on. Mm-hmm. Just jam yourself a nice pair of socks on.
Oh.
And every time somebody hits on you, you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, never mind.
Get yourself a cucumber down there.
I like that.
I'm gonna go.
I like that.
Yeah.
So like, hey, can I buy you a drink? One, please.
One, please. And they're like, I'm sorry, I have to go.
Excuse me.
I should have noticed by the size of that you were special. Ken Paxton is currently undergoing an impeachment trial in the state of Texas. Now, you know what? Why am I talking?
We got somebody here.
We have
that
somebody
knows.
here who's actually been covering this entire deal.
Sadly.
Yeah, but I kind of want to know about it. Would you like to open our viewers' eyes?
Please.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the important thing to know about the Ken Paxton impeachment trial is that of course, it works the same way as Congress. So the House delivers articles of impeachment to the Senate, and the Senate has to vote on whether or not they acquit him or remove him from office. And so the House managers promised all of this evidence. You're going to see all of this evidence to prove that Ken Paxton committed crimes. And I have poured through hours and hours and hours of all of this testimony, which I can't tell you how many other things I wanted to be doing with my day rather than listening to these boring lawyers and these boring witnesses. And the fact of the matter is they've provided absolutely no evidence. They have no evidence. It's just a lot of bureaucrats who were upset that their boss was asking them to do something that they didn't agree with the decision. and they questioned his decision because it wasn't the decision they would have made. But I think the main takeaways of this impeachment trial are that all of the witnesses who were allegedly whistleblowers of all of this criminal conduct taking place, they all really trust the FBI. Like, they really trust the FBI. They love the FBI. They think the FBI, if you wanted to investigate the FBI for corruption, you would be insane, was what one of them said. Do you trust a witness?
No.
You trust the feds at this point?
No.
Yeah.
That's what's so odd, though. The actual distrust that I have towards everything in our government has grown immensely.
Right.
Yes.
And it was bad at one point, but now I feel that it's just I'm sure it's cliche, but we're supposed to be a people in charge of the government,
right.
And now we're a people scared of them.
Right. Exactly. So there's a lot of, accusations. There's no evidence to back it up. If anything, it's really showing that Ken Paxton is the one person who's doing the things that you're talking about we need someone to do, which is put some leashes on, big government power, make sure that people aren't being unfairly targeted. And because he happened to believe that the FBI was targeting someone who he considered a friend, they're calling that improper conduct, which I would say, if you are the AG, you can't not help someone because you happen to know them as a friend. You can't be like, I believe that you're being railroaded by the FBI, but you know what? You donated to my campaign, so I can't help you. I mean, that seems absurd, because then you would be eliminating a giant amount of the population of Texas that you could help,
right?
Because you might be accused of helping your friend. They proved that Ken Paxton believed that the FBI was targeting this guy unfairly. Anything else at that point, I think, is why are we even here? Why are we even having this trial?
Who was the Indian guy who got in trouble for writing a check that was too big to a campaign?
That was Dinesh.
Dinesh
D'Souza. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But I mean,
and it wasn't that much. It was, it was pretty. What was it? It was
Well, because we know that politicians always have a cap on the money that they'll take.
Right.
Right.
Kidding me?
Right.
We got you, Dinesh.
Right. Yeah. So I think, if anything, this shows that they are going to use this as a blueprint if they're successful. There are a lot of rhinos in Texas who are mad that Ken Paxton is in and George P. Bush is not. The whistleblower attorneys are connected to George P. Bush, and I just think they're going. This is a roadmap. This is a blueprint, and if they're successful, this is going to be what they do in other states where they have super conservative fighters who are willing to investigate the bureaucrats who are abusing their power.
Yeah.
So what do you think that means for the country right now? Or will mean?
Oh, it's going to be a giant disaster. I mean, we're already seeing a two-tiered justice system in this country. I mean, we're already seeing it at the federal level. So to have them be able to remove very important people within the states and the states can't even fight back. I mean, that's pure chaos.
Like a Proud Boy going to jail for 30 years for
right.
not being at January 6th?
Not even
Just
there.
Like that.
Exactly. And then when you remove the state's ability to fight that, who's left? Who's going to fight that?
No one.
Right.
I mean, you have no one to protect you.
No one. I mean, Ken Paxton filed the most lawsuits against Joe Biden of any state. He's constantly fighting against, a leftist regime. Yeah. And so now we may lose the biggest conservative fighter that we have.
Right.
So what is it that he's being accused of then, technically? I guess I don't understand.
The witnesses, what are the witnesses saying?
So they're saying that, I mean, literally, this is basically it. Nate Paul was one of his friends.
Okay. He
believed that Nate Paul was being improperly investigated by the FBI, and the FBI was abusing their power, and that the FBI had
what?
And that the FBI, I know, clutch your pearls, and that the FBI
Hard to
had
believe.
Gone in and changed some metadata in some of their search warrants to cover up some of their abuse of power. It's almost like we haven't lived through a time where we literally saw the FBI doing that to a president of the United States, right?
Right.
So there, the Nate Paul comes to him and says, "Hey, I think the FBI is doing this." Ken Paxton looks at the evidence and believes him. And when he tries to assign his people to investigate it, his people are like, "No, I think this guy's a criminal and I don't like him and I don't want to investigate him." So Ken Paxton hired someone else to do the investigation because they were being completely insubordinate. And in my opinion, he could have fired them on the spot just for insubordination, but he didn't. And he hired someone else, and then His subordinates were mad that he hired someone else to do the investigation they didn't want to do. And then they bring up, well, he had an affair. So he's engaging in improper conduct because he had an affair.
What
And
does that have to do with his office, though?
precisely. So they're trying to tie a bunch of
He's a politician.
things.
I'm sorry, but
Exactly.
he's a politician. I kind of expect that to happen.
Well, and also,
Surprising.
if we were going to impeach Texas, authorities,
Are we
going
gonna
to
use?
Affair,
Yeah.
right? I think we
We're
need
going to
to
use it
open
across
up
the board then?
a bunch of impeachment inquiries.
We used to give him TV shows like Jerry Springer.
Yeah. We could put them all
Miss
on
him.
there.
Yeah,
Miss him.
He bought a hooker.
R.I.P..
He bought a hooker with a check, and that's how he got a TV show. I love that guy.
Speaking of bad checks, the Dinesh D'Souza was $10,000.
That's right. That's
But
it.
he was having some lady friends contribute to straw donors. So that was,
Well,
that's what I was reading about,
I mean, I don't think there should be any.
$10,000. That's like I feel like that's a blue collar, higher end blue collar, like really big donation for them. But for these people that are always donating to
Right.
campaigns,
Tax
that's like
write-off.
nothing.
Right.
We don't have a black book for Epstein, right? So we're gonna bring up a guy's
Right.
affair. Like this is a terrible thing. Look at how immoral he is. What about that guy who had the sex island with underage people? And
Right.
they're like, but he had an affair.
Well, it's the same thing that they do all the time, where they use our morals and our principles against us and go, well, look, he's having a marital.
The morals everybody else who's having an affair pretends to have. I mean, that's the problem. Is hypocrisy is the lubricant of this country.
Right. Yeah, and they're
Slippery.
using
Very
these
slippery.
these people's credentials, these whistleblowers' credentials, as like, but he's super conservative. He used to be an Eagle Scout. Like, oh, when he was 8, he was an Eagle Scout. Wow,
Eagle
he
Scouts
must not
don't
have
get
ever.
boners.
Well, I know.
they're pitching a lot of tips.
I know the master did. Damn heavens. Bring you out to the woods, teach you how to tie knots but not untie them? What a stupid thing.
So hopefully, it's going to wrap this week, I think. Trial.
What do you think? Positive or negative? What do you think? What's your take on it?
Based on what I have seen so far, obviously that I leave room to change my opinion, but I don't anticipate that I will. Based off of all the testimony that I've seen, I really don't think the Senate can convict. I don't think that they can choose to remove him. I should say, I don't think that the evidence is there, and the threshold that they're using is the same in a criminal case where it has to be beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right.
And there's just no tangible evidence to prove that what they are saying is true and that he committed crimes.
But does it matter?
That's a great question, because I asked myself that too. I think that it does, only because the Senate is a little less squishy an establishment than the House.
Okay.
We do have some conservative fighters, and we only need 10 people to say, because you need 2/3 to remove him. So we only need 10 people to say, no, I do not think that this rises to the level of impeachment, and we're going to acquit him. You only need 10.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay.
So I'm going to stay hopeful.
Well, before we get to our final segment, The End of the World, I want to thank Mrs. Guantanamo for joining us today.
Wait, is that even Hispanic?
I don't know. I think there's a lot of them there. By the way, what did you do over the holiday weekend?
Was it a holiday?
2 weekends.
It's 9/11.
That was not a weekend.
Your people didn't cause that?
It was the other brown.
Oh.
I know. You get confused.
I get them all. Whoopsie. I thought it was a baby and cage visit day for you. Sorry. We joke around because all right.
We have fun.
I think if people are easily offended, they're not watching this show.
That's a good point.
I think you're
Not
good.
this deep.
Yeah. Especially for you. Like, you're not an easily offended person.
No.
And you insist that I do this. So I want people to be clear.
It's true.
This is an inside joke.
It's true.
She said it was okay. We ran it back.
And honestly, I wouldn't mess with Sara Gonzales.
She's very scared. You see her boots?
Seriously.
Look at her boots.
I don't know if they can see them.
It's somebody you
Vicious.
want on your good side. I promise. Have you seen her in a debate? You don't want to be on her side? I just agree with her even if I don't.
He only had me on because I forced him to.
It's actually true.
my
She
goodness.
kicked me with the boot. I said, she goes, which hand do you deal with? And I said, this one. And she goes, they always say the left. And then she hurt my right one. Anyway, You can catch me at the Wonders Theater in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, September 22 and 23. But more importantly, because you were in the UK, you can catch me at the Leicester Square Theater in the UK next March, the March 23rd. Tickets are on sale now. That's the Leicester Square Theater, March 23rd, 2024. Am I saying it right?
Yeah, very
Leicester
handsome.
Square. Oh, thank you. That's me as one of the inbreds. So if you guys
Are you one of the pedophile types?
yes, one of the
That one is a good photo. Like I was like, is that Dave?
It's hard to tell.
That one was
He
really
is
hard to
majestic.
tell.
Look at him.
Okay, look.
That's a head.
right
That's a head for
Is
a
that
crown.
very
right
royal?
there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. While I was there, I went to go see
I look
the
like if I was
jewels.
wearing a crown, it would be more like a what do you call it? A tiara.
Like a pearl necklace.
Yes, and I'd be wearing one of those because I just did it for money.
Oh, yes.
I'm a princess.
I'm a
Look at me. I'm a princess.
Those are my boots that you just cut to.
Paparazzi, don't take photos of me.
There they are. Yeah.
Dave's boots.
Wow.
Like a pimp.
You guys have a shoe cam before I do.
didn't even know that.
I didn't
That's
know.
not a, that's not a shoe
What else do you have? What else have you guys?
cam.
I'll be honest, I didn't know there was a shoe cam. So
Yeah.
don't blame me when this gets all Roger Ailes up in here.
That's
I
for the
think they
chatterbait later.
Yeah, I think they just accidentally exposed someone's hidden cam.
No, she said it was supposed, she said it was my camera, and she's like moving it over to your boots.
Well, where?
To her what?
Oh,
Oh, my goodness.
Boots.
okay.
Boots.
All
Well,
right.
and also, Garrett, my good friend, who I'm very happy to have back on the show.
Oh, thanks, man.
Tell us about you.
I'm going to be on, the old Friday Night Tights on Nerdrotic. And Adam Krigler's show, Based Af. We're having a lot of fun over there. And my own channel on Sundays when I can.
I like that schedule.
And then, of
Thank
course,
you. I keep it loosey-goosey,
September 27th, Hyenas in Dallas.
In Dallas.
But where can we find you?
You can find me right here, right
In the darkness.
there on the News and Why It Matters, weeknights at 5 Central, 6 Eastern, and all over social media at Sara Gonzales TX. There's no H in Sarah. It's just unnecessary.
I agree.
Agree.
Yeah, you don't say Sarah.
You don't.
You just say Sarah.
I mean, I
What
do.
is it for?
Do you?
Yeah, I do. And
Sarah.
tomorrow you can hear me saying Sarah was on the show last night when QB and I do Off the Record exclusively for BlazeTV subscribers. This is your chance to chat with us about anything and everything, whatever's on your mind. We don't have big tech sensors looking over our shoulders if you go to BlazeTV, where you can sub, normal 20 is the code, and you can ask us anything. That's tomorrow at 1:30 Central.
I'll tell you where my secret tattoo is.
That's right.
Off the record is the code.
Off the Record is the code. I was wrong.
That's the name of the show.
Yeah, so you'll know. You're going to want to watch. And you can ask us anything. I don't care.
Yeah, anything.
That's right.
You may not answer, but they can ask.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right. Go ahead, ask me something.
Oh, now me?
Go ahead. Shoot.
How big?
7 inches?
She said it, not me.
No, it's fine.
7 millimeters.
I didn't specify
I'm not
what.
saying-
She was asking for your shoe size, Dave.
Yeah.
I was responding with it.
a woman's 7
Not what we were-
inches.
I have very tiny feet.
And you measure them in inches.
I actually don't. There was a shoe
Where's the
cam.
shoe game?
I have size 11 feet.
Really?
Wow.
Even though I'm 5'6".
Is he just bragging?
Oh.
He looks
No,
like the
and
letter
And you know
L.
what they got? You know what they say?
Seriously, it's absurd how big my feet are.
I've got 9.5s to 10s. They change.
Do they really? I trip
Depending on the
over
shoe.
my. Look at them. Look at them.
Trip over your what?
My feet.
Oh.
You know, I've tripped
14.
over other things back when I used to make movies.
Oh yeah, the
The
independent
names
kind.
that you dropped.
Yes, you remember all the names. Did I drop names?
Wait, I can't remember. Did I?
I don't think I dropped names. Did I? Do I drop names a lot?
No.
Is that what you're saying to
They
me?
call you the name dropper behind your back.
Do they?
He's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Sorry, I'll never talk about my friends again. This is Bill Bonds on my shirt. He's dead now.
Very close friend.
And a marvelous toupee.
Mm-hmm.
Now we bring you to the end of the world.
Dude, that freaking thing is awesome.
I know, right? And the fire.
Yeah.
Yep. Speaking of 9/11, that's what this is going to be about. The tasteless DraftKings promo code. I would like to know, what is your tasteless promo code? Your best tasteless promo code. QB.
Mila 14.
Inspired.
Little deep cut.
All right.
Deep cut.
I'm going to go to Sarah. What is your best tasteless promo code?
I'm going to go with Masterson Jacuzzi 3.
That's good. It's good to add the number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know.
All right. Angela.
Mel Gibson Jacuzzi 4.
Oh,
I like
one up
that.
Kinda one up
escalation.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Columbine was Crisis Actors 420. And at that, thank you very much. We'll be back here tomorrow night, same time, same place, same beautiful faces. See you then.